The heavy front door had slammed shut 3 hours ago, but the sickly sweet scent of Quintessa's perfume still hung in the hallway like a ghost. That fragrance always seemed too intrusive, too loud for the old brownstone with its high ceilings, where the air was used to smelling of beeswax polish, dried lavender, and the dust of ages. I stood in the middle of the kitchen, staring at the closed pantry door. The silence in the house was absolute ringing. I used to love this silence. It meant peace after a long day at the sewing machine, when my eyes were tired from tiny stitches and my back ached from endless stooping. But today the silence felt predatory. It was waiting. My stomach twisted into a tight knot. It was shameful to admit, but I was hungry. Just ordinary human hunger, the kind that gets persistent by evening. I walked over to the cabinet, the hinges creaking as if complaining about the disturbance. The shelves were impeccably clean and terrifyingly empty. Quintessa had packed in a rush, darting around the apartment like a bright tropical bird trapped in a cage. She had tossed bikinis, light sundresses, and expensive tanning lotions into her suitcase before stopping in the doorway, hand outstretched. "Mama, give me your card just in case," she had demanded. "What if the ATM down there doesn't work? You know how sketchy those beach towns can be." "But Quintessa," I had tried to object, feeling a chill run down my spine. "That's my whole social security check. It just came in today. What am I supposed to live on for 2 weeks?" "Oh, don't start," she had said, rolling her eyes and snatching the plastic card from my trembling fingers. "You've got a full jar of grits in the cupboard. Boil them up, add a little butter, and it's beautiful. It'll be good for you to detox. Doctors advise a restrictive diet for everyone at your age. Don't invent problems where there aren't any. I deserve this vacation." She flew off to Miami, to the sun, to cocktails with little umbrellas, taking my money, my peace of mind, and, as it turned out, my dignity. Grits. She had mentioned grits. I reached for the top shelf where the old glass jar stood, labeled in my own handwriting some 20 years ago. It felt suspiciously light. When I took off the lid and looked inside, my heart sank. At the bottom, amid some grayish dust, lay only a few lonely grains. There wasn't enough to feed a sparrow, let alone a grown woman. She had lied. Or maybe she just didn't care. She hadn't even bothered to check if there was food before condemning me to starvation. My chest went cold. It wasn't the chill of a draft, it was the ice that grows from the inside when you realize that the person you carried, nursed, and raised isn't just selfish, they are cruel. I closed the jar and put it back. The sound of glass against wood rang out like a gunshot. Desperate, I headed to her room to search for loose change. Chaos reigned there. Clothes were strewn on chairs like shed skins, and open tubes of lipstick stained the vanity. I searched under stacks of glossy magazines and inside jewelry dishes but found nothing. Finally, my gaze fell on a crumpled piece of paper near the trash bin. It was a printout of her hotel reservation and flight itinerary. I smoothed the sheet out, and the total figure stared back at me, bold and merciless. The amount my daughter had spent on 2 weeks of beach relaxation was exactly equal to 3 months of my benefits. For years I had darned old stockings and turned coats inside out to remake them. I had denied myself an extra peach at the market to buy her the best shoes. "Mama, this is what's in style now," she would say. I walked out of her room, pulling the door firmly shut. The living room met me with silent grandeur. Here, in the dim light of street lamps filtering through velvet curtains, stood my treasures and my jailers. The antique oak buffet, the crystal, the fine Haviland Limoges porcelain. A service for 12 we had used twice. For Quintessa's wedding, I used to tell myself. I looked around. This wasn't a home. It was the Quintessa Johnson Museum, and I was merely the unpaid curator. A curator who starved to death so that one day a visitor could take everything without saying thank you. But as my stomach growled again, the hunger was replaced by a cold, crystal-clear clarity. I walked to the coffee table and picked up the City Chronicle. I found the ad I had circled weeks ago. Mr. Alistair Sterling. I buy antiques, porcelain, silver. Honest appraisal. I picked up the rotary phone. Grits, you say? I whispered into the void. Mr. Sterling arrived the next morning at 9 o'clock sharp. He was a distinguished man, expecting to see cheap trinkets. Instead, when I opened the velvet case to reveal the 12 massive silver spoons with intricate grapevine engravings, Quintessa's dowry, he was stunned. He offered a price. A month ago, I would have taken it with gratitude. But the woman who had haggled for silk at the fabric markets woke up. "No," I said firmly. "This is a full-set, early Gorham production. You will sell these to a collector for 3 times that." I want a fair dealer's price." We made a deal. When he left, I held a stack of bills thick enough to change my life. I didn't hide it under the mattress. I put on my best beige cashmere coat and walked to the Epicurean market downtown. I bought prosciutto, aged parmesan, truffle brie, olives and imported peaches that cost a fortune. I bought smoked salmon and a fresh baguette. Back home, I laid out the fine lace tablecloth Quintessa had forbidden me to use. "Today, I am the guest," I said aloud. I ate slowly, savoring every bite of the salmon and the sweet juice of the peach. It was the taste of freedom. I smoothed out the long receipt and placed it in the empty velvet case where the silver had been. Dinner, I thought. It was just dinner. A week later, while I was sipping a 2015 Cabernet, the phone rang. It was Quintessa, calling from the beach, feigning concern while shouting over the music. "How are you doing? Still alive? You boil those grits, add more water, it's filling." She mocked me, treating me like a burden to be managed. "Don't run up the lights," she warned. "I know you." I hung up the phone and felt a final snap inside me. That night, I went through the office drawer she usually managed. I found them credit card bills in my name. Maxed out. Loans. She hadn't just taken my check, she had stolen my identity and drowned me in debt while she partied. The mother in me died that night. In her place, a survivor was born. The next day, I sold the ruby brooch, the one she wore to nightclubs without asking. With the proceeds, I hired a locksmith to rekey the front door. I hired a lawyer to draft an eviction notice. And I hired a stylist. I cut my hair into a sharp silver bob and bought a navy silk dress. Then, I prepared for her return. I bought a mini fridge for my bedroom and installed a heavy deadbolt on my door. I stocked my room with lobster, steak and champagne. Then, I cleaned the kitchen refrigerator until it was barren. On the middle shelf, I placed a single glass jar containing the grits, boiled into a grey solid lump of cement, tied with a red ribbon and a note, "Detox. Doctor's orders." Quintessa returned 2 days early, sun-kissed and entitled. When her key didn't work, she pounded on the door until I opened it. She gaped at my new hair, my silk dress, my diamond earrings. "Did you win the lottery?" she asked, greed instantly replacing confusion. She marched to the kitchen, demanding steak and wine. "I'm starving. I hope you went shopping." "I did," I said, following her. "I bought exactly what you recommended." She yanked open the fridge door. The light illuminated the terrifying emptiness and the single jar of grey mush. "What is this?" she shrieked. "Where is the food?" "My food is in my locked room," I said calmly, sipping my champagne. "This is your detox. You took my money and left me to starve. So I sold the silver. I sold the brooch." "You sold my inheritance?" she screamed. "It was my property," I countered, my voice hard as stone. "And it paid for the locksmith and the eviction lawyer." I tossed the white envelope onto the table. "This house is in my name. You have 30 days to vacate. And if you contest it, I have the police report for the identity theft right here." She sobbed, she begged, she tried to hug me. But I stepped back. "I love you, Quintessa, but I have chosen myself. The bank of Mama is bankrupt." I turned my back on her wails and walked to my bedroom, locking the deadbolt behind me. As I sat in my armchair and took a bite of sweet lobster tail, listening to her pound on the kitchen counters in the distance, I felt a profound sense of peace. The Quintessa Johnson Museum was closed forever. The life of Mrs. Yulee had just begun.